Hey guys, Cam for 15 back out on Cam for 15 Talk Sports. Now, I'm not joined by my Uncle Daryl this time, but like I said in my Bears free agent video, when I tied with my Uncle Daryl, if there was any Chicago Bears free agency news that took place, I would bring it up and I would definitely talk about it. Now, again, this is by myself. Yes, we made obviously moves after the four initial moves we made. With kind of everything that has been going on in free agency for the Bears. Um, you know, that's kind of the thing there. I don't know if I talked about David Montgomery leaving for the Detroit Lions. I don't know. I don't remember. But whatever. Let's start off with that. David Montgomery, he ended up leaving. Um, he ended up leaving the Bears to go to the Detroit Lions. He signed a $18 million deal, and he's getting 11 million in guaranteed dollars. So that's kind of the thing there as well. Listen, my thoughts on Monty being obviously gone. It does hurt. It does hurt that he ended up leaving the Bears, but obviously Ryan Poles felt like, well, he had Montgomery at a price and he didn't want to bring him back at maybe a price Montgomery was going to, I guess, demand. Listen, David Montgomery, for all his time as a Chicago Bear, I do appreciate it. I thought he was one of the hardest working Bears players that we've seen in recent memory, and he was definitely one of those guys that was a great locker room leader for the team. And I wish him the best in Detroit. There's really nothing bad I can say, and to be honest, honestly, when it comes to Bears leaving for, like, say, Green Bay, I freaking hate them. But him going to Detroit, other than freaking when the Bears play Detroit, I'm gonna freaking root for the guy. Like, he was a great running back, and I think the reason why Poles just didn't bring it back is because if the Kansas City type of mold in terms of the running backs, well, they like fast, they like explosive and fast running backs, and David Montgomery, to all his credit, he is as a player, he's not fast. He's got the power, and I guess you can say that's some explosiveness, but when they're talking about explosiveness, they're talking more about explosiveness from just speed department, not really the power guy. And Poles came from Kansas City. You look at the Kansas City mold of running backs. They had Edwards-Helaire, they had McKinnon, obviously Pacheco. They're all explosive guys, especially McKinnon and Pacheco. They're both explosive players, and they both complement each other pretty well. And again, no disrespect to Dave Montgomery, but he just wasn't fast enough. And the Bears value a running back that, well, guess what? Maybe if they get a long run, boom, they're getting maybe 50-yard, almost 40, 50-yard a carry. Montgomery, we would see in the big runs, he would almost get those, but he would typically, if it was a long run, he'd be getting 25, 35, maybe 40 yards on one carry. If it was a opening in some of those runs, it should have been a touchdown, but he was too slow to get into the end zone. But again, David Montgomery, I can't say more than enough positive things about him. He's definitely going to be missed by this team. And yeah, wishing nothing but the best in Detroit, except when we play him. But the Bears immediately made a move. They signed Travis Homer. No, I'm not really going to look at this guy's stats, not like the other guys in this freaking video. But he's played with the Seattle Seahawks last season. He can run the football, but he's mostly a special teams guy. Obviously, they kind of brought him there. Special teams guy, and then also obviously depth at the running back position if, say, any of our two running backs get hurt, or if they draft another running back, I guess the third running back if it gets hurt, if they get hurt, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the thing there. But yeah, he is a good pass blocker. But other than that, there's really nothing else to say about Travis Homer. So yeah, moving on. It was a few time. It was a few days past. And yeah, so a few days passed, and we ended up actually signing another player. And we ended up signing backup quarterback PJ Walker. Again, I'm not gonna read off his stats, but obviously PJ Walker, he came from the Panthers, and he got a few games to start. I actually really do like this move, because what were we asking for? A lot of Bear fans were asking, if Justin Fields ever gets hurt, well, you're going to need a backup quarterback that suits his strength, his play style, where the playbook doesn't have to be changed up so much. If you have a quarterback with similar traits that is a mobile-like quarterback, not as fast, maybe not as fast as Justin, and maybe their arm's not as strong as Justin, but you know, regardless, you plug him into the game, he can still. You don't have to change the playbook. You can still call the same exact plays, and that's what PJ Walker can do for us. They only signed him to a 2-year deal. I love the move. And I obviously, yes, it's a backup, but I love the move because you get a player that has similar traits to Justin Fields. So if Justin gets hurt next year at some point, where he has to miss a game or two, well, you can insert PJ Walker. Now, I'm not saying PJ Walker could potentially win you games, because I would say PJ Walker is your typical backup quarterback. He's average to almost below average. But regardless, at the end of the day, um, he's got similar traits, and Luke Getsy doesn't have to change the playbook. You go look at last year with Trevor Siemian, and even with Nathan Peterman, and obviously, I forgot the guy, David Blau, at the end of the season against the Vikings. Well, obviously, the playbook has to be called completely different because guess what? Those quarterbacks are more pocket passing quarterbacks, while Justin's more of a mobile quarterback. And obviously, you have to change your play calls and call what you can call because, well, you don't got a mobile quarterback. And speaking of Trevor Siemian, they ended up actually releasing him. He was actually supposed to be paid like some sort of money bonus or something, but the Bears cut him ahead of time. I figured that's what they would do. They would cut Trevor Siemian. So when they bring in PJ Walker, boom, that's kind of the thing right then and there. I knew the moment they signed PJ Walker, I'm like, okay, Trevor Siemian's getting cut because what's the point in keeping Trevor Siemian here as a backup quarterback when you have PJ Walker right here and there. I like the move. Also, too, you don't have to waste a late round draft pick on a quarterback. Although, honestly, I would probably still draft one of these rookie quarterbacks. Again, another one that's similar to Justin in traits, like either I think Cunningham or DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson. I am a Bruins football fan, so I thought if the Bears didn't sign PJ Walker, I would honestly probably look into signing or drafting DTR. He has similar traits and things like that, and then obviously got the swag. But obviously PJ Walker coming in, he has some chemistry with Moore and then even Freeman and things like that, like we were gonna say. But yeah, I do like the pickup. Do like the pickup. So much needed backup quarterback just in case something gets hurt. So yes. But anyways, we start off this day of free agency, which I think is like day 4, I believe, day 3 or day 4, I don't know. And guess what? Poles actually makes he actually makes some pretty solid moves today. He made some solid moves on Thursday. And one of the first moves he made is Andrew Billings, the defensive tackle from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now he played on the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's been in the league since 2017. He's 28, and yeah, but last year, looking at his stats, they were solid stats. He had 36 total tackles, 15 solo, 21 assists. Only had 1 sack though. But the thing is about this guy is, from what I heard, he's not really much of a sack monster. He is a good run stuffer, and for a team on a very bad defensive line that could not stop the run whatsoever. We need a guy obviously like that, and this is not only a guy for depth purposes. This is a guy that can contribute in terms of helping stop the run and becoming a nice defensive lineman for this team. Again, like I said, obviously, I think the Bears need to improve in the trenches. Me and my uncle Daryl have said we think the Bears need to improve in the trenches, and that's just a massive, thing. It seems like the Bears are more than likely going to, unless they go get Samalo, the guard Samalo. It looks like they're going to build their offensive line through the draft. Yeah, I'll say that's debatable. I understand wanting to build that, but honestly, I'd rather go get experienced players. But I can understand if you draft these offensive linemen, develop them really well, and they turn out to be all pro linemen, well, then shit, you got yourself a really damn good offensive line to work with. And you'll definitely re-sign those guys when their contracts are ending up. But much needed help. Obviously we had Walker who, excuse me, we had Walker who we signed, but I knew that wasn't enough. Obviously, with what's happened with Jalen Carter in his pro day, that did not look good. The Bears obviously going to meet with this guy personally, one-on-one, and see if they can pick this guy's brain and have some better conversations because Jalen Carter is still on the freaking table. They could take him with the number 9 pick, although I'd rather go offensive line, right tackle right then and there. I think with Jalen Carter, with the way he failed, I think he's going to drop, now I think he would drop to maybe second round. I'd really be shocked if he dropped to like third round, but I think he's going to be picked up at like high, early mid second round. But the Bears like what they did. They can definitely trade up with their second picks, which Poles in his press conference said that he is open to potentially doing if they really want this guy. He won't be afraid to trade up potentially. So I do like the move for Andrew Billings, and I think that's good. I think that's a good move. The next move we ended up making was, well, obviously we had another kind of little mini gaping hole, was the tight end position. Really, after Cole Kmet, there really is nobody else. The other guys that were behind him, like Ryan Griffin and the other dudes behind him, they weren't good. Just not good at all. And the Bears make an upgrade, and shockingly enough, I was talking to my dad yesterday when we were watching the USA baseball game, and I was looking like tight ends on the list, and I found like a tight end list on Twitter. And I told my dad, I'm like, hey, what if the Bears just end up signing frickin' Robert Tonyan to kind of rub the Packers in the face a little bit more with the fact that they're losing Aaron Rodgers too? Well, lo and behold, I guess my guess or my prediction frickin' came true because the Bears are gonna end up getting, well, they're gonna end up signing Robert Tonyan. Now they signed him to a 1-year deal, and Robert Tonyan, he was a really good tight end for the Packers. He was definitely a nice little. He was definitely a guy that Aaron Rodgers would always get the ball to. But he was a really good tight end. This past season, he had 53 receptions, 67 targets, 2 touchdowns, and 470 yards receiving. Career wise, he's had 137 receptions, 176 targets, over 1,000 yards, 1,437, and then he's had 17 touchdowns. The one thing about this guy that is pretty good is he is a good receiving tight end. He's not as good as a blocker like Cole Kmet is, but he is a good receiving target and definitely can be another safety blanket for Justin Fields, and definitely could be a really good backup. Say Cole Kmet, he goes out with injury. He can be plugged in right then and there. And then the number one thing that's also big with getting Robert Tonyan is, well, he's coming over from Green Bay, who was in Green Bay, Luke Getsy. And Luke Getsy's kind of have the same similar system to that like Green Bay does. So the thing is, he doesn't really have to learn much. He practically knows the offense, which is actually pretty good. And even then, he can also help Cole Kmet with things. I really do like this move. And I think if he has a really good year, I could see the Bears bringing him back on a longer deal to be to continue being another good backup tight end to Cole Kmet. But I really do like this move. He's obviously like TJ Edwards. He's a Chicago guy, which is funny because if he's from Illinois and he played with the Packers for the past few years, now he's here. And obviously, again, you see how some of these free agents they're lured into the fact that Justin Fields is like crazy good here, and with Tonyan knowing that Rodgers is going to be gone, no disrespect to Jordan Love, but shit, Jordan Love ain't shown anything, so yeah, that obviously creates a hole for the Packers where now they got a tight end hole that they gotta fill. So that's kind of the thing there. But really freaking good. That I did like this Robert Tonyan move. Can't wait to see what he does for the team. And then we ended off the night so far with getting another running back, filling in the hole for obviously David Montgomery, and we ended up signing Danta Foreman. And Danta Foreman, he has been solid in his couple of seasons with Carolina. They did sign him to a 1-year deal, and I think this is a nice little thing with Herbert. Now I don't know how good of a pass blocker Foreman is, but if Foreman's a good pass blocker, well then shit, your running back room is solid. I think now in some cases you improve it, and Foreman is a pretty fast guy. Last season he had 203 attempts, 914 yards, so he almost hit 1,000 yards rushing. He had five TDs. Career wise, he's had 443 attempts. He's rushed over 1,901 yards, and he has 10 touchdowns. I like this pickup. I didn't watch much Panthers games, but I did see some highlights of Panthers game, and they would show him running the ball. He was getting some yards, and he was putting in the work, and I think this is a nice, solid move that the Bears make. He can definitely be, the 1-2 punch with Herbert, right then and there. And again, it's another, nice, strong, big, fast running back that, hey, the Bears definitely could use. And I definitely could see this guy, if he has a successful season next year, the Bears could bring him back on maybe a 2-year deal, maybe 3-year deal. I don't know. But I really do like this move. And, overall, I do like a majority of the moves the Bears made today. They'll probably make some smaller moves here and there now, addressing some moves. But Paulson in his press conference, like, I can't really address everything. There's gonna be a place on this team where there's just gonna be, a hole there, and there's nothing really I can do about it. I'll try to fix it the best I can, but I only have so many resources I can use. So that's kind of the thing. But I really am liking how this team is being built up. Obviously, the draft is upcoming, and definitely can't wait to see who the Bears end up picking. I think with the first pick, they're going to have to take a right tackle because you got to shore up that right tackle spot. Like, the right tackle is currently constructed right now on the roster. They're not good enough. Right now, from the way the offensive line is looking, it looks like it's going to be Braxton Jones at the left tackle, Nate Davis or Tevin Jenkins at the left guard. Right guard will either be Nate Davis or Tevin Jenkins. Who knows? The way Poles was talking, it sounds like Cody Whitehair won't actually be cut. He is actually more than likely going to be the starting center, which makes sense. Mustafa, for the love of God, is now a free agent, so don't get this guy again. I hope they let him walk, or I hope another team just picks him up so then I don't have to see Sam Mustafa, or I have to worry about Sam Mustafa in a Bears uniform again. And then plus, Lucas Patrick can't show the consistency to stay fucking healthy. Ryan Poles, it looks like he's going to more than likely look like Cody Whitehair is going to be the starting center. I thought they would cut him when they signed Nate Davis, but I guess not. I guess they really do like Cody Whitehair's leadership. He was a captain for the team last year, so probably he's a pretty good guy in that locker room. Especially he's a veteran. He's a veteran present in them too. He played better football at center, and he knows the position. So I think honestly, that's probably the best thing for him to be the new center of the team. But I also do see that they could potentially draft a center in the draft. Now they do have Kramer, who's coming back off injury, but he's gonna have to show some steps and things like that. But that's what the offensive line looks. But other than that, I think they're going to take with the 9th pick. I think they're going to take a tackle, whether that's the Georgia guy, I forgot his name, or Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State. We'll just find out. But solid moves by the Bears made today, like all of them, and I can't really be mad about the moves. All solid moves, and I'll take them. yeah, if there's any other Chicago Bears news about free agency and stuff like that, I'll definitely freaking talk about it. Me and my uncle's got to find time in our schedules to talk just NFL free agency in general and talk about all the freaking NFL free agent deals that have been going on. That's why I haven't been doing like side videos about like, oh, this. We're gonna continue on with making. We're gonna continue and do like free agents videos about what players went where and things like that. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on the video. Until then, guys, stay safe with them. Great rest of your day or night. I'm this video. Excuse me. Peace.